Taking a look at a property in Sun Valley today. First pulling up to it, looks like it needs a lot of work. It's pretty rough. So we're gonna go take a look inside and see exactly what the issues are. Try to come up with a repair estimate and see, kind of try to back into our numbers, see exactly where we would come in at. See you in a few. So just coming out of that house, the house needs a lot of work. It most likely needs to get gutted. Two things that I took out of this. Number one is, in a house this old, this house was built in the late 40s. You definitely need to see if any of the materials are asbestos. Um, Potentially, we have asbestos flooring, in which case we'll need to abate it correctly. You always want to make sure that you do things correctly. So the lead-based paint, if there is, we have to look into it. Also, there potentially was a septic tank. This is a situation where the owner is not the person selling it. And so when you have something like that, you want to be very thorough in your inspections, because there's disclosure required when you have knowledge about the house. But if you've not lived there, then you don't really have knowledge about it. Everything is pretty much hearsay, and you can hide behind that defense. Not to say that it necessarily is correct, but in this situation, you have a lot of work that needs to be done. You need to inspect it correctly. I'm also told that there may have been a septic tank that was filled and not removed correctly. So septic tank is when you're not connected to the public sewer, and you literally have a tank for all of your waste that is produced by the home, toilet waste and such. And so that needs to be, when it's closed up, it needs to be capped correctly, either capped or fully removed, where you have to dig up the lawn, dig up the yard, and take the septic tank out. So look up on the public records if there was ever a septic tank, or if it was originally directly to public sewer. That is always a benefit as well. So it's a lot of work, this house. We're looking at probably north of $150,000. It needs to be pretty much gutted to the studs. And definitely, it's a 3-1 right now, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom. You'll probably need to at least add 1 bathroom to make it a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom to truly maximize the value for a home this size. You'll add square footage through the process, which will increase the value as well. Another thing that's being done here in Southern California is accessory dwelling units. So this is when you convert a garage, for example, and make a second unit. It creates affordable housing in a city that is very unaffordable, and that's a benefit. So got a lot of work to do now. We're going to contact the sellers, let them know that we took a look at the property. We need to go back, run our numbers. Of course, send over our contractor, send over an inspector to review the septic tank, to review the lead-based paint, to see if there is, to review the asbestos flooring, if there is that, and to run our numbers, get a little bit tighter on our numbers. But before we go through that process, we're definitely going to try to put the property under contract at what we believe the estimated value is going to be. We're pretty good at doing that and keeping to our numbers. We don't want to come back and renegotiate. It leaves a bad taste in sellers' mouths, and we don't like doing it. So this is our first property of the day, and we'll see. We got a second one to go to, trying to see if that appointment is still on. Remember, this is Roman ShareShare, your #1 resource online for how to buy properties and how to buy them correctly.